What's good, Chaotic Nation? It's your boy Chaos here, and I'm back with another one of these like conversation style videos. I know we did one recently, but I feel like this is a good way for me to interact with you guys. You know, the live stream is obviously a place that I can do that, so twitch.tv/chaos6, also Mondays here at 4:30 p.m. That'd be great. That's Eastern time, by the way. But I don't get a chance really to interact with you guys in content and stuff like this. Like, this would be a conversation I'd be having on a stream. So if you want to have a conversation like this, stream is the best place for that. I mean, we can go back and forth in the comment section, but there's only so much that we can do via text, rather when I get to actually express my thoughts and be able to talk through it. So I thought I'd do another video like this. I think it's a really good way for me to get back into the Saturday videos. I haven't been able really to sit down and write a script or record anything for Saturday videos. I've also been really big into Baldur's Gate 3 right now, so it's not like I'm getting a chance to do that, because I'm like, I want to play Baldur's Gate 3. And if you watch the last video I did on this, it's like I want to play games that are not on recorded time, I should say. So I'm trying to do that, and I just got really sucked into Baldur's Gate 3. So if I'm not on stream and I'm not at work, I could probably play Baldur's Gate. But I digress. Today I wanted to talk about a phenomenon that's happening in the content creating sphere. You might have seen it, that some of your favorite content creators are leaving the platform. Some of your favorite content creators are really lost in what they're doing. You know, if you're a content creator, you might notice views are down, or subscriptions are down. If you're a streamer, or like memberships and those kinds of things, everything's down. So I kind of wanted to talk about and address some of these things just from a creator standpoint. Some of you probably out there understand some of this, but I watched so many people lately go, I don't know who I am. I don't know what my content is anymore. I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like I'm lost. And I feel like that's kind of just a place where we get stuck in, and it's this rut. But we don't think about what caused us to get to that point. So I kind of want to shed a little bit of light on that. And I guess it's a theory, but I also feel like it's actually the correct thing. So if you want to call it a theory, I mean, it's not been scientifically proven, so I guess it's a theory, still a theory. Either way, my theory on the matter is COVID actually was the reason why we are in the state of I don't know who I am, or I don't want to do content anymore. And you're like, Chaos, that doesn't make any sense. But when we go back and explain it, it's going to make sense. So really, the big point in time for content creation for me and for many other creators, I feel like, was during the pandemic. 2020, 2021, you didn't really have anything else to do. You just were at home, you couldn't go to work, you were working from home, and people didn't know how that was like. So, like, you were not doing as much work, and it's hard to do work, and you had so much time to, like, have something else open while you were working, so you pull up a stream, so people were watching streams while they were working. It was just so much easier to be a content creator in that time period, because people had access to their phones, people were working online, and, you know, sometimes they might be having a stream up on their computer or on their phone while they're working, and you can see that. But, you know, we get to these office spaces, that's just not a common practice, and it's not a reality. You can't just sit there with your phone playing a stream out loud for everybody to hear when you are at the office. You can at home. That's not a problem at all. But that allowed so many people to be a part of our streams, and be into our streams, and be interactive with our stuff. You know, I remember that time period. I was at home. I was, paying a little bit in rent. I was paying a little bit to make some food purchases, so I could at least live that way. But you guys were financially supporting me through subscriptions and stuff on Twitch. It was the time I had the most subscribers on Twitch. I digress that it did not make me even come close to thinking about making this full time. Would love to do that if I could, and if I think I could do it, I would definitely. But that's not the point of this video. But the point is, like, I was making enough money off of Twitch, and I think a lot of people were making enough money off of Twitch. Like, you didn't really need to have your job. You could just stream every day, and, you got to have that social interaction that we were all craving, because you didn't get to go out and talk to people, or go out to dinner with people, or go hang out at a coffee shop or something. You didn't even get to see the random people on the street giving you weird looks that you shouldn't really care about anyway. But we didn't get those social interactions, so like a stream was a great place to do that. You could interact with the people in your chat. It really felt good. It was a way to interact. It was nice. We enjoyed it. I personally, in that time period, spent all time of the day pretty much gaming. Like, I got to record. I recorded every day. I uploaded every day. I streamed every day. I played Apex with Tubing Dave every day. I was playing Among Us with my friends every night, all night. Like, I was doing so much of this stuff, and like, you had all the time to do these things because we didn't have anything else to do. And I think most of us are now in this time period post-COVID, post-pandemic, where we're like, man, I really don't know who I am. I'm definitely been in that boat. Like, I've gotten rid of a lot of things. I've changed a lot of things to try to reinvent myself. It's not that I need to reinvent myself. It's that we lost the time period that we were in, right? We lost this time period where everybody could be in the streams. Like, I have so many people who are supporters of the channel, who've been longtime supporters of the channel, my moderators, my VIP people, those who've been here since day one. We're just busy. Like, the number one thing I get is like, I'm just sorry, I'm so busy, I can't be around, or I'm so sorry, I can't come to your stream, I was at work, or I had this social interaction that I was doing, or I was going to this party, or I had this work meeting. Like, I get it. We're all busy, and like, especially with streams, they're live, so you can't really control when they go up. Like, sure, you can watch it after the fact on the VODs channel or on the Twitch VODs, but you can't really interact in that sense, so it's better just to watch a video at that point, and even then the video views are down. And I think that even goes to, we're having to compete with mainstream media, so you're competing again with TV shows, you're competing again with movies, so streaming platforms, sure, they were big at the time, but if you were somebody who kept up and watched those all the time, there was nothing really new being made because we were shut down because of the pandemic, and you needed something new to watch, so you went to Twitch, and all these people were live streaming. I mean, at that point, I pretty much think if you had a computer and you had a stable internet connection, you were streaming, and even if you didn't have those things, sometimes you were streaming. Like, it was pretty insane to see the number of people who just started streaming and making content again. And really, it's gonna come down to the people who really can hold out to continue making content in this new time period where we aren't in a COVID era where people can just be on their computers or on their phones all the time watching your content. It takes a lot. It really has taken a lot. I went from like 10 average viewers on my Twitch streams to like 3. I went from like 2 or 3 active chatters at any given point in time to maybe 1 person or 2 people, you know, being in chat at the same time. Most often it's a message like every, 45 minutes or so that people are in the chat. That's not saying anything against the people who are watching my content. I appreciate those chats so much, but we're putting an unrealistic expectation on this time period to be like, this was what it was like, what's happening, why do I not have this growth and this sustaining viewership that I used to get? Why does this support feel like it's low? And it's not because we're doing anything wrong. It's like we haven't changed our content. Like, the number one thing when you go assess yourself as a creator is you're like, man, okay, what am I doing wrong? What do I need to fix? So obviously, like, this video or this thing wasn't perceived that well. What do I need to go back and do? That's a good thing to look at. But when it's in this time period, you can't be too critical on yourself by thinking I'm doing something wrong because people aren't showing up. No, it's people don't have time to show up anymore. That's the problem. Had all this time where we were doing all these really cool things and had nothing better to do but come into a Twitch chat. And I know, like, my life personally, I'm done with school now, and I'm like on my own in the world, and I have to work a full-time big man job. I don't have time to make content like I used to, because I was like in school, I was like, okay, let me get this paper done in like 30 minutes, and then I have the whole day to make content. Like, that's not a thing I can do anymore. And I think a lot of us really lost that when, you lose that when you're not a student anymore, but you also lose that when COVID goes away, because what else are you gonna do? You have nothing else really to do besides go to Twitch and watch whoever's live. So we really miss that. I really miss that era. And I think that's really where a lot of our minds come into effect. So, moral of the story here for our content creator friends who are watching this, for my content creator friends who are watching this, I know a lot of the people who have supported me over the years are also people who made content. So, if you're watching this video on a whim and just wanted to figure out who I am, I thank you for doing that. But the moral of the story, here's what you came for. It's not that we're bad or we're making worse content or people don't like us. None of those are the reason why our content is doing worse. The reason our content's doing worse is people don't have the time. It's not you. It's not anything you're doing. I mean, sure, that's always a factor in your content, but it's a very small factor. It's not a huge factor like something like this. Like, I doubled my viewership in COVID time periods, and now I'm just receding back to what I was before that. So it's sad to see no growth. I mean, some creators did grow in the pandemic and they became people's favorite creators. So if that happened for you, good for you. Great. Continue doing what you're doing, because obviously people are enjoying you, and I'm really proud of what you're doing. But if you're someone like me who's like, man, it's really receded, it feels like I'm getting nowhere again, you know, it's hard to keep going on. And I know a lot of people are like, man, I just want to stop. I don't want to do this anymore. It's not worth it. And that might be the case. That might be a realistic conversation you have to have with yourself. But it's also a time for you to really sit back, and we're all like, I don't know who I am anymore. Take the time, you know, stop, maybe take like a month off or so. Really assess what you want to be doing with your content, if it's valuable to you to keep doing it or not. And then if it is, do it. If it's not, maybe it's time to say goodbye and become a viewer or something like that. Find some other way to sustain that social need that Twitch or YouTube provided you in that time period. I think a lot of us are just being too hard on ourselves, honestly. So don't be hard on yourself. That's the other thing I would say. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't be like, man, I'm really bad, because it's not your fault. It's just how the world happens. And you know, you can try to find your niche again. That's a good way to do it. Figure out what you really want to do and come back to do it. Like, that has been something that's been so helpful for me. And like, I'm not experiencing growth right now, like in any means. Like, I'm not in a growth place. I'm in a, you know, I want to make what's chaos content look like. And I think a lot of us are in what's my content look like. So take the time, really figure it out. And it's been really helpful for me. Like, I know I don't like shiny hunting, and I finally decided after 5 years of doing it, because it was a good way to interact with my chat, I just stopped doing it. And it's not what I do anymore. I do find it fun when there is a chat, but you know, I would have like 30 minutes of stream where I could shiny hunt, and then it's like, okay, the chat's not working. No one's typing in chat, and so I have to go do something else. And that's not a bad thing. Like, take your time, do what you need to do, have fun with the content. Remember why you started. And I know for me, like, I started making content because I wanted to make videos to get my opinions out there. I wanted to, you know, I thought my ideas were creative. You know, I had my own unique perspective on what Pokemon content could be, and I wanted to make those videos, and here we are still doing that. That's what I really want to focus on. I want to have entertaining streams too, so I want to play games that I want to play. And I still kind of work out of that mentality, like, if I'm going to play the game, you know, I want to do it on stream, kind of mentality. But also, I feel like these are games that I've played before also too. Some of the stuff I'm doing now, like I'm doing OTR, I'm doing Fire Emblem, I'm doing, you know, Nuzlocke. Like, those are things that I've been known to do. So I'm like really doubling down on who I am and my identity, and you know, giving up some of the things that aren't really what I want to do anymore. I think that's important in this time period. So don't be discouraged that you're doing something wrong, but do take the time that you need to reassess what you want to be and what you want your content to be. I think your viewers will appreciate that. And I hope that someday, you know, I can look back at this video and be like, man, I really knew what I was talking about, and not like, man, I should have just given up content. I don't want to look back at it that way, but I do want to look back at it with fond memories of, you know, this is the time period where I rebuilt the channel into something awesome. So I'm focusing back on the thing that I started doing with videos right at the very beginning, which is every video is better than the last. So I'm doing my best to make content even better than it was before. And if you want to give me a shot at that, you know, if maybe this isn't your cup of tea, this kind of video, but you watched through it because you were interested, check out some of the Nuzlocke, check out some of the live streams, like, come interact with me. That's the best way to get to know who I am. And like, if you have questions, please feel free to ask. Before I ramble on too much more, that's going to be it for this episode. Let me close it here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me on this adventure through the last couple of years of content and why everyone keeps leaving. So if you have any thoughts, I'd love to have a conversation about it in the comment section down below. Maybe I'm missing something. I could be missing something huge. And you could be like, Chaos, you're actually dog water. Why do you keep making content? Like, you're so mid. Like, you created a new level of mid that's not even mid anymore. It's worse than mid. Like, you can tell me that, like, I would probably not be happy with that comment. But, you know, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. So just let me know what you think in the comments below. Really would appreciate that. Those interactions are always great, and just show that I'm doing good on my content. So please, if you're so inclined to leave a comment, Thank you so much. And also, it's the only way I know that you actually have watched. Like, I can see the numbers of people who watch the video, but I don't know you specifically have watched unless you leave a comment. So if you want to, have a dialogue with me and be, have that sort of parasocial online creator to community member relationship, like, just let me know in the comments. Of course, you can also follow me on my other platforms on Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, Discord. I have this YouTube channel, and I have another YouTube channel, Invisible Corporations, that I'm currently doing Hollow Knight and Cuphead, and I'll be doing a OTR on that soon, so please go check that out. And please join the Discord server. That's a great way to interact with us here. So that's going to be it for me today. Thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed, and do better. Try to do better. Pull Peter Parker, always do better. Just trying to do better. I'll see you next time. Stay safe, and as always, Red Devil.